Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to your life path for 2021 readings. So, before we go into it, a few words about the year, or should I say, about the energy of the year 2021. So, many of you will remember that when we got into 2020, I did a video for the year ahead, and I remember saying specifically to everybody, it was going to be challenging, it was going to be tough. There were probably going to be things that we weren't ready for, that we hadn't foreseen, so to speak, and here we are on the other end of it. So I want to put this little blurb at the beginning of each one of these videos, just to give you kind of an idea of the year 5, right? So when you consider that each number vibration is kind of like a response or a differentiation or a divergence away from the predecessor's energy. The 4 year was about restriction, limitation, challenge. It was about repetition. It was about sticking with things. It was about working through things. It was about, the 4 energy, the 2020 is a 4 year, is about, the foundations. It's about the things that are rigid. A box can either be used as a step to take you to the next level, or it can be used as a prison, right? It can, it has both functions. So on the other side of that, we've got 2021, which is a 5 year. The number 5 is about freedom, liberation, energy, being dynamic. It's about passion. It's about vibrancy. It's about the sensual and the sexual. The 5 year is often, in terms of the personal year 5, it's often been called the sex, drugs and rock and roll year. Now, obviously, I'm not, condoning the drugs part. I'm just, if that's your thing, if that's what floats your boat, then please feel free. What I'm saying to you is this energy is vastly different to the year before. Now, what does that mean? It means that you may very well want and need more travel, more adventure, more sex, more sensual pleasures in your life. You may want to try new things. You may be stepping out of the box, and we're going to see this across the board. Now, remember, 2021, it's the year for everybody, right? So regardless of what your life path number is, regardless of what your personal year number is, the energy of the year itself is the number 5. So what are the things that we're likely to encounter there? What's the big word, the one word that sums up the 5 energy is change. It is the energy of change, the energy of difference, the energy of liberation and freedom, as I mentioned. Now, things that we might need to be aware of. Currently, 2020 took away a lot of our freedoms. 2020 took us to places where we were locked down. It took us into this idea that we're not in control, that we're not in charge. That 4 was no longer a step. It became a prison at certain points. Granted, most of us were locked in our homes rather than like actual prisons, but you see the point that I'm making with that kind of energy. The 5 energy wants change, freedom, liberation. It breaks out of that box and says, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what I want. I want to enjoy. I want to indulge in the world, right? I want difference. I don't want the same. I want everything and anything that is new, that is innovative. These are all wonderful energies, but what does that look like on the wider world stage? Everybody in some way, shape or form is going to want freedom and liberation. And if a lot of the things that were put in place in terms of our freedoms being taken away, in terms of, being told what we can and can't do, this is where 2020 could become quite a rocky year, because what you're going to see is the kickback. These things were put in place to keep us all safe. These things were put in place to keep us all well looked after. These things were put in place to flatten curves, to make sure that we were all in a good stead, for sure. I get that, but on the other side of it, how much is that going to be repealed? How much is it going to be peeled back? So the big question that now comes up is 2021. Freedom, liberation, innovation. We could be seeing new technologies, new ways of doing things. We could see brand new, like really advanced healing methods, ways of growing food, creating food. We could see a lot of this. We could see a lot of connection. We could see a big expansion of the understanding of not only connections between people, but also this idea of what it means to be governed from the top and what it means to be self-governing. We could see a lot of that, and the kickback may very well be that, you know, it starts to become a bit of an us and them. You know, you don't control us. We can make our own decisions. We can make our own choices. And the thing is, 9 out of 10 people, if they're left to self-govern, they tend to choose the right thing to do. You know, not because it's the right thing to do, but because everybody at base level is tapped into their own humanity. You know, you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to hurt another person, you know, unless obviously there's things going on within you. Anyway, that's for another video and another debate. So what you're very likely to see over the course of 2021 is people looking to break out of the specific norms that have been imposed. You may very well see people wanting to change the rules, people wanting to find new ways of liberating themselves and also the people that they love, but also the masses. So you may very well see this kind of energy take place over then. 5 is a very restless energy. It's a very boisterous energy. It's lusty, sexual, passionate, vibrant. It's a number of the sensual world. So you could see a lot of this over the course of the 2021. You might see a lot of hedonism, whatever that means to you, come out. You might very well see people finding new this is the thing, I've said innovative like 3 times, but I can't stress that enough, because it's new, progressive, vibrant, passionate energy. You may very well see a lot of this. I think we're going to see a real advancement in ways that we can travel as well, because the 5 energy loves travel. It loves anything and anyone different. It loves anything and anyone that is foreign to what they know. People will want to try, more so than ever, people will want to try new foods, new food sources. I feel we're going to see a lot of this as well. Like, we recently had this meat-free burger thing come up. I think we're going to see a lot more developments in the 5 year over that kind of thing. I think we're going to see a lot, like a massive explosion towards health, vitality. I think we're going to see sports, all kinds of things around that. I think we're going to see big changes and big evolutions of. I actually feel like we might go in the direction as well where we're not necessarily looking at sort of like, oh, look at us, we're all focusing on the football league. I feel like it might sort of break apart, and you might see that the local leagues become a lot more important, or become a lot more, a lot more focus and attention is placed on those things that are happening locally, and you might see a lot of growth in those areas. I think there's going to be an explosion of health, fitness sort of stuff, and I don't think it's necessarily going to be because it's like, I need to get healthy, I need to look good. It's more going to be a case of, this is enjoyable, and if we can do it together, it's even more fun. So that looks like it's going to be great. But yeah, those are just some a few notes about the 2021 year itself before we go into your life path, your personal life path reading. So there is a link in the description box below. If you don't know your life path number, you will be able to find it. You'll be able to work it out, and trust me, I have dyscalculia, so if I can do it, trust me, you can. All right, just don't overthink it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Now let's get into your life path reading for 2021. Take care, I'll see you soon. Hello, you beautiful Life Path 1 person. Welcome to your 2021 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. And before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look see. But before we get into your cards, I have your numerology overview or outlook, so to speak, for the year ahead. So let's get straight into it. So what do you need to know about the 2021 year? It is a 5-year, right? So you've seen the blurb at the beginning to give you a little bit of an insight into that. How does it interact with your own number? It creates a combination energy. It creates a combustible energy, but it also gives you an energy of controlled expansion. So if you delve into this and you do it properly, you could really take the handbrake off, so to speak. Now, what is the 5-year asking you to find new ways to do? This year is asking you to find new ways to be true to yourself. This is about being your authentic self, stepping into your own power, but also being fun, dynamic, and vibrant about that. This is about finding the best ways and the truest ways to express who you are and finding the freedom and liberation that comes with that. This is a year to take the lid off of your knowledge or your talent, whatever your talents are, whatever your skills are, whatever your knowledge base is, wherever it is that you are an expert in something that you can teach, that you can share, that you can, help enhance or better other people's lives with. This is the year to let people know what it is that you're capable of, what it is that you can do. This is also a year for you to go in a completely new direction when it comes to work, when it comes to home, when it comes to pretty much everything. This is going to ask you to kind of think about new ways of doing all of these things, and exciting ones as well. This is a year to be a coach, a leader, or a mentor. This is a year for you to really take the handbrake off and accelerate that. If you've ever thought about teaching, if you've ever thought about offering a course, if you've ever thought about, teaching small groups or maybe going into education or academics, this is a great year for you to do that. The reason being is because of the way that the energies combine. This is the year for you to discover the fire within you. What is it that gets you fired up? What is it that you are passionate about? What is it that makes you truly unique? What is it that makes you different to everybody else that you might come into contact with? What is it that sets you apart? Those are the things that can become, usually lots of people say like that's a drawback or whatever. It's not. And especially this year, whatever it is that makes you unique, whatever it is that makes you special, that is what you are being asked to show. That is what you're being asked to allow to shine. And also to give others, or to show that, or to do it, to live that true, authentic expression of yourself, is giving others permission to do exactly the same for themselves. This is a really powerful year for you guys. Discover what makes you unique. So, what do you want to be in charge of or responsible for? What is it that you want to be known for? When people say things at work or in life, or within the family or within your social circle, maybe when it comes to the world at large, when people think about you, what do you want them to think about you being in charge of? What do you want to lead? What do you want to present to the world? What do you want to be known, and what do you want to be remembered for? These are the things, they say people will rarely forget, will forget what you give them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. This is a year to live by that motto. So the challenges that you might face this year, right? Let's have a look at these. One of them is balancing your own wants with other people's needs. You might find that there's, because one is very forceful, projectile sort of energy. 5 of it is a very fast sort of vibrant electric sort of number. So it has, there's a lot of strength, there's a lot of forcefulness, there's a lot of energy and drive and passion to push forward. But you might find that some of what you want to do, some of what you want to put out there, or some of the, it might be a little bit at odds with other people's needs, whether this is for friends, whether it's family, whether it's the partner or the loved ones, all of that sort of stuff. So this could be a challenge this year. You might really find it, anything that you do that requires you to slow down, maybe anything that requires a little bit more finesse this year as well, you might find challenging, you might find a bit of a struggle. This is your, if you're a coach, let's put it to you this way. If you're a coach, this is your Tony Robbins year. You're not going to be subtle. You're not going to be sort of graceful and defined and poised. You can have all of that. You can find it for sure. And that will probably shine through when you are teaching people one-to-one or when you're, assisting people. But when it comes to you putting yourself out there, you're going to be about as subtle as a brick. You're just going to be like, raw. So consider it like that. To settle down or into a home or a relationship, my true honest feeling, home, it's a possibility. But when it comes to starting a relationship, even starting a business, unless the business is home-based, probably not. The energy just isn't there for it. It's a bit too combustible, so that's something that you might want to think about. Finding time to rest. And because you've got so much energy this year, you will have so much energy, so much vitality. The Life Path 5, who else? The Life Path 8 as well. Those 3 numbers this year, they're going to do pretty well. So 1, 5 and 8, this is kind of a year that's good for your energy. But finding time to rest may be a challenge because you are going to be really busy. As much energy, passion and drive as you have behind you, sort of spurring you on, you'll also have a lot to do. Your opinion's going to be sought after, your input's going to be sought after. You may have several projects on the go. The beauty of the energy of this year and the combination of these energies is that you have the time and the energy, not the time necessarily, you have the energy to do a lot. So you might find that this is the year where you can juggle a lot of plates. But you might struggle to find that time to rest. This might be a year where you are running on fumes when it comes to sleep. So just try to find, moments for that. Another thing that you might find challenging this year is you're going to want anything new, anything and everything that's original, expressive, that's out there, that's different, that's, a change from the norm. All of that, you're going to be all up in it and you'll love it, right? And you'll love everything that's new, innovative, ingenuitive, all of that sort of stuff. But one of the challenges that you might find is giving time to tried and tested methods. Anything that is of an older sort of paradigm or energy or even timeline, maybe you've done something one way for the whole of your life, suddenly it will be an uncomfortable fit. It might even feel like it's dragging you down in some way. This especially when it comes to things like work, when it comes to bosses and employers, this year you might want to kick back. You might see things and say like, actually no, you know what, there's a better way to do this. There are easier ways to do this that are actually more beneficial for everybody. So this could see you really in that energy of like, no, it's the old way, we're doing it all new. All right, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So your blessings for this year: you are dynamic and innovative. You are fun, vibrant, you're powerful, you're magnetic. People want to be around you this year because you get shit done. You are forceful, you are powerful, you are showing up as yourself. It's kind of like if you feel like up until now you've been living in a bit of a haze or maybe not been as true to yourself as you would like to have been, this year all of that goes away. All the holding back, all the biting your tongue, all your, censoring yourself and editing yourself for other people, it all goes. It's kind of out with all of that. Powerful and forceful, put that. Able to see it and then move towards it. You could become a master strategist this year. This is a year where, and this is something that not everybody will have this year. Actually, I don't feel like everybody will have this. You will have I think probably your Life Path 8s will have more of this energy than anybody else, but there is a pervading energy for the Life Path 1 over the course of 2021. If you can see it and envision it, you will start moving towards it, and your results will be pretty quick. You'll start it. We kind of like download and go, which is a great energy to live with. Milk it. You've only got it for a year. ready to explore and discover anything and everything new, right? Whether this is aspects of yourself, whether it's about aspects of your sensuality, your sexuality, the world at large. You may very well be drawn to travel this year. You may find that people invite you to places, you know, and they'll be happy to maybe even foot the bill for your travel expenses. I definitely see a lot of that energy coming up. So, you know, again, take it while it comes. Travel extensively. Find a good home or a place to be. And that's important. It will be. And like I said, you know, maybe the energy for the forever home isn't necessarily there this year. But you will definitely find, you know, if you are moving this year, you will definitely find a place that really fits and suits you. So great. So key advice for this year: be yourself. Let people know and see the real you, who you really are. Look after your body, your physical health. You really must pay attention to your physical health. You know, whatever your daily routines are, making sure that you eat right, making sure that you exercise, all of that stuff. It's not going to go away, right? And if anything, it's probably a good thing for you to exercise over this year because you've got so much energy. So if you find yourself getting restless or anything like that, make sure you've got something physical as an outlet to remove that. And then finally, take care of those who take care of you. That's one thing that you really need to remember this year. In fact, I think that's probably one of the key pieces of advice. And it might seem like a cliche or something that you should just be doing anyway, which it is for sure. But it's really important that you give time, energy, and credence to that idea. And the reason being is because this could be a year where you really elevate, but who you look after, how you care for the people around you is what's going to determine how long you stay up. All right, so with that said, let's get into the cards for the life path. That says 9, doesn't it? One sec. Hello, so we're back for your tarot element. I've changed it. Like I said, all of the information that I've given you on the life path energy was actually for the life path 1, not the number 9. So please don't panic. All of that information is relevant if you have a life path 1 or you are cross-watching for a life path 1. So with that said, let's get into your tarot and see what is coming up for the life path 1 this year. All right, so for January, we have the Tower, right? So it's an interesting energy because the Tower card has come up quite a few times for quite a few of the life paths this year in January, which means I think straight out of the gate in 2021, we are going to see some big sort of disruptive change on the wider world stage. Now, your first card out sets the kind of tone for this year. What is the Tower? It's fast, it's quick, it's dynamic, it's blasting, it's electric type energy, the energy of rebellion and revolution. It does look like this is going to be a big time of change for you. So straight out of the gate, the year starts for you with the Tower card. This means that there may very well be some sort of upheaval, or it does look like there's going to be some sort of big change or personal realization that happens for you right at the beginning of the year. Now, we're going to pull obviously another card for each of these to give it some context to see what it might be talking about or what that might look like. Let's have a look see. So for the Tower for January 2021 for the life path 1, we have the Two of Cups. So this could be a surprise relationship, right? Remember, yes, the Tower is shocking. Yes, it is surprising, but sometimes it can bring you something that you never even expected. The Two of Cups is partnerships, collaborations, but it's true connection. Now, a lot of people say that this is the true love card. I would say probably that the Ten of Cups is probably more the true love energy, just because it's fully formed. Whereas the Two of Cups, this is the potential. This has the potential to become that 10. And what this kind of says to me is in January, it looks like you are meeting somebody. It looks like for those of you that are single especially, you're meeting somebody straight out of the gate right at the beginning of the year. This could be somebody that completely smacks you between the eyes. It completely comes out of the blue. You could be one of those people that's in that place in their time where you're saying, you know what, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not really looking to settle down. I'm literally, and then bam, this person shows up and they just completely change that narrative for you. This could be somebody that you're completely enamored by, and it may very well feel like it is a fated moment, Remember, whatever the Tower brings you, it's often freeing and liberation. You know, it's freedom and liberation of some sort, but it's also something that comes completely left of field that you do not expect. For those of you that are partnered, this could be that there is some sort of some realization about your partnership or your relationship. It could be that you have some kind of revelation. Maybe a partner tells you something. Maybe you realize something and then tell your partner. For a select few of you, it does suggest that this relationship is coming to an end. I'm sorry to say that, but January will be the time that is a very make or break energy. For those of you that are partnered, especially those of you that have been together for a really long time, this could be the month that kind of says to you, you know what, it's no longer viable, or it's not the energy for us. But if you're single, that's a totally different story, and it's a very exciting energy. For February, we have the Empress, right? So this is great. It looks like February is bringing in good money, good foundations. February does look like a month where things are fruitful and growthful. So whatever is happening here in January, I mean, for a few people, this could also be a collaboration. It doesn't necessarily have to be a personal relationship, but I feel that it actually does relate to that. But for a few of you, in terms of, you know, a business partnership, it does look like if there is one of those on the horizon, you could start seeing results from that straight away. For a select few of you, February looks like you are either looking at the home or the environment that you live in, and it may be that you're making changes to it. To give that some context, you've got that 8 of Pentacles. So February is going to be a month where your work takes you to some really exciting places. This could be figuratively, but it could also be literally. If you are traveling for work, the places that you're going to are either very rural or very beautiful. These are places, maybe dream destinations to work with or work in. It looks like the invite is coming in January, and then in February, you just find yourself there already. February is a great month for work, for business, for all of those things that you are hoping to create this year. It looks like you start doing that from the very beginning of the year, which is really nice. The Empress card is a blessing card as well. So for those of you that work in the beauty industry, maybe you work in hairdressing, massage, beauty therapy, anything in the holistic sector as well. If you're in any of those chosen fields, February could be a power month for you. Maybe where you're even working in a place that you've always wanted to visit. You know, maybe, I don't know, a job comes up for you at a spa in Bali, or, something along those lines. But yeah, February looks great, and it does look like February is going to be a month that really increases the financial flow when it comes to your work, which is really nice. For March, you have the Hanged Man, right? So you're taking it easy here in March. This is a time of not necessarily rest and recuperation. It just looks more like a time, if you remember what I was saying to you about your, finding time to rest and stuff, March looks like a time where it's kind of naturally there anyway. Take the breaks when they show up for you. Now, the other thing is with the Hanged Man as well, sometimes it can see you having to reassess or reevaluate things. And this actually feels for me like there's a pause, right? It's like a moment. So you've got January, February, and then it's like March is like, okay, catch my breath before we go on to the next thing. That comes with the 3 of Wands, right? So February and March do look like there are international connections coming in here somewhere or for somehow. Now, for the Life Path 1, I really do believe that this whole year is going to have an aspect of international or travel to it. There is definitely something that's happening that feels like it's happening for you on a global scale. The other thing with March as well, this could see a big sort of expansion when it comes to your spiritual path, your spiritual connection. It does look like, if I'm honest, March feels like a time of rewards. So it may be whatever it is that is starting to culminate here in the first quarter of the year. By the time you get to March, this could be where you're starting to see the results of seeds that you've already sown. Things that you've already worked hard on now start to give their blessings and their bounties. It does feel for me though like there's some sort of spiritual trip or journey that could be coming up for you in March. That's definitely a time for you to slow down, and it does feel like a time where you are more aligned with the energy of taking it easy, you know. But March definitely, February is all work, kind of a little bit of play, whereas March feels like a, you know, the opposite kind of energy. So for April, you have the Emperor. So this could be where you are either becoming the boss, maybe stepping out, and you know, I talked about coaching, mentoring, teaching. All of those things could be coming up for you this year, and this is very likely to take place in April. So whatever you are maybe working on behind the scenes here in March, or maybe figuring out the next steps for something, taking that breath before you go into something else or launch something else, this could be where you are in effect presented onto the wider world stage in some respect, whether this is for what you do, whether it's for your work, you know, is kind of remains to be seen, but it's a very exciting energy, I have to say. Let's have a look. Let's give it some context. It comes with the Empress. So there's a few things that I want to mention here, right? The Emperor is like the divine father, let's say, and the Empress is like the divine mother. When you get this masculine, feminine energy coming together, this is where you get growth. This is where you get to see true, amazing results. You know, when masculine and feminine energy comes together, when the sun and the moon come together, what do we say about a new moon? It's the time to start things. It's the time to plant your seeds of intention. And the Empress is able to take it all the way, right? So April looks like you are either teaching, maybe offering some sort of a course. It does look like you are starting something brand new. This isn't something to do with anything that's here. So January and February might be the initiation point for this, and then in April it looks like you are launching a course, maybe you're launching a business, maybe you are you know, working on a collaboration with somebody, but it does look like you are being presented to the world. Now whoever you're meeting in January, that could be an interesting connection. For a select few of you, the you know, April looks like a really nice time for that kind of energy as well. But I would definitely say that this whole year has very much a work/professional slant to it. I mean, certainly for this first portion of the year anyway. So in May, you have the Strength card, right? So this is about you delving into what is truly heartfelt for you. Now, remember, the Strength card is about finding the courage to go after what really sets you on fire. We talked about this in your numerology. What is it that captivates you? What is it that makes you really feel emotive? What is it that, you know, when you wake up in the morning or when you go off into your daydream thinking about your best or your perfect life, what is it that comes to mind? The Strength card basically says to you, if you have the courage to envision that and build it, and go after it, you can have it. But the other thing as well, because this is ruled by Leo, right? So what it kind of asks you to do is really ask yourself, what are you here for? What do you want to defend? What do you want to protect? What do you want to stand for? What do you want to stand by? Then you've got the Three of Pentacles, right? So again, there's this whole element of teaching, possibly coaching for a select few of you. It does look like April could see you aligning with an institution of some sort, so a school, a university, you know, a practice, maybe an institution that's known for something in some respect. And then May sees you doing that, right? Because your Three of Pentacles is, you know, learning institutions, places of learning. May could see you chasing or gaining a new qualification, but it could just as easily see you being presented. Now remember, you've got that energy there in April, right? Which is where it kind of starts, or you're aligning, or you're getting an opportunity or an invitation to, you know, to an event, to, you know, maybe to speak at a certain place or for a certain company. Whereas in May, look at this. This could be, you know, the Strength card represents Leo, so being on the stage, you know, being out there, being presented to the world, you know, being noticed, or being not even headhunted, because at this point, if it shows up with the Strength card, this is something that you're actively already doing. It falls with the Three of Pentacles, so this could see you speaking to students, maybe teaching students, maybe you are leading courses, maybe you're leading webinars, seminars, definitely a big possibility with that Three of Pentacles, but it also looks like you are going after something that your heart truly has always wanted to study, maybe a qualification that you've always said, you know what, one day I'm going to get my diploma, one day I'm going to get my degree, one day I'm going to get my PhD, like whatever that thing is that you've always said to yourself, you know what, one day I'm going to do that. May is that one day, right? It's not going to come in a day, it's not going to come in a month. It is going to be something that you start, though, something that you kind of start moving towards. So June, right? So we have the Hierophant card here, close to the Three of Pentacles. It's very likely to be a school, a college, or a university. It's going to be some sort of learning institution. But the thing is, because you've got the Faith card or the Hierophant card, this is very likely to be something that is either government backed. It could very well be something that, you know, maybe it's even something that has a spiritual slant to it. Maybe you're creating your own school or your own, you know, school of thought of some sort. June looks like a month where you are interacting with true people of power, people that can really make a difference for you, people that can put you on, people that could, you know, really effectively change your life. Shakers and movers are the sorts of shoulders that you're rubbing here in June, with the Nine of Cups. So this is interesting, right? Because your Nine of Cups is wishes fulfilled. If you could work with anybody, if you could say, yes, you know what, that's the person that I want to work with, or that's the sector that I want to go after, or that's what I want to be known for, or that's what I want to align myself or tie myself to. June looks like a month where you could really do this. Remember your Nine of Cups, wishes fulfilled, heartfelt things, right? Coupled here with the Hierophant card, this sees you really tapping into this energy, right? This sees you really tapping into this wish fulfilled. And it looks like it's something that somebody is introducing you to, right? So this could be a very powerful person coming into your life in June. It could be somebody that is a doctor, somebody that's already got a PhD, somebody that has already walked the path that you are hoping to walk. And it looks like they take a real shining to you. The other thing with the Nine of Cups as well, this is about healing. So, you know, you put that on top of the Hierophant, you're looking at a learning, maybe a learning institution that has something to do with healing. Maybe it has something to do with spirituality. It's definitely an option. But I am seeing a lot of energy here for invites. I'm seeing a lot of energy here for being noticed. This could be a real year where people, maybe even you get some sort of accolade for your services rendered, for things that you've done, or, you know, maybe you are recognized or given an award of some sort. If that is coming, it's very likely to be in the second quarter of the year, between May and June. So July, we have the World card. Now this is an interesting one because July and November have been the months that have most consistently pulled world events cards. So I wonder, and I do feel like there's going to be something big that happens on the wider world stage. Throughout the readings of this series, I've been really, really surprised by the amount of this stuff that has come up. So I have to say, like, I'm really kind of like intrigued as to what it's going to be. The World card for you on a personal level is talking about a change in status, and especially after this, you know, after June, you could really see a change of status. Maybe this is the alignment of, you know, the other thing with the Hierophant card as well, it's about commitments. Maybe this is where, you know, whatever or whoever shows up for you here in January, especially, you know, June could be where you're getting June or July could be the months where you're making it official, where you are either being recognized, maybe you're making an official commitment. This could see you going from, you know, single to engaged. It could see you going from engaged to married, all that kind of stuff. Whenever you see the World card, this is where you're ready for the next level, is where you're ready to change your status or elevate your status in some way, shape or form, which is really exciting. Then we've got the Justice card. This is a true commitment, right? This is something that you sign on the dotted line for. If this is a marriage, if it's a yeah, if it's a connection, if it's an engagement, if it's a marriage, whatever it is, especially when it comes to something that is committed or like a legally binding contract, this is going to be something that is around for a long time to come. This is going to be something that, you know, that you're aligned with or aligned to, possibly for the rest of your life, depending on how old you are. Now, on a wider world stage level, the Justice card, remember this talks about come on brain, this talks about legal things, legal matters. You know, maybe there's going to be a change in legislation of some sort across the world, you know, especially in light of the experience that we're all having or have had after the whole coronavirus thing. This is where we could see some sort of change, some sort of legislative rewrite could definitely be coming through. But it does look for me like there may be something either legal or military, you know, or military sort of style going on in the world. Now, for other readings that came through around this time of year, one thing that came up was that we might see some sort of a war break out. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but the thing is, most people are only watching their own life path number. So let me put it to you this way. I've seen all of these, and consistent messages for certain times of this year have come up over and over. That, you know, when you start to build a bigger picture of it, you start to see, you know, in a different sort of light. So I wonder. August, you have the High Priestess, right? So this is where hidden things are revealed, where your intuition is going to be powerful and on point. This will be a time where your dreams, you will definitely want to pay attention to, your gut hunches, anything that feels like it is a message, pay attention to it over the course of August, because this is going to be a time where your intuition is speaking up, maybe your psychic awareness is starting to awaken and open. Now, you probably won't be giving much credence to this, because this whole year looks like it's going to be lived on instinct. You know, it's going to be fast, it's going to be dynamic, it's going to be powerful, as you can see already. And we're not even done yet. But yeah, let's see what it kind of... August is going to be a time of big secrets revealed. And because the World card is in close proximity, I would wager that this is going to be something that is revealed to the people of the world. Maybe about our, you know, about our governance, maybe about our governments, you know, maybe about the country that we live in, all that kind of stuff. That's on a wider world stage sort of energy. To get the High Priestess twice in a single month, that hasn't happened for any other life path for these readings. And what it tells me is, August, whatever your intuition tells you, do not doubt it. If it tells you to jump, you jump. If it tells you to hold back, hold back. Whatever comes up to you or up for you as an intuitive message over the course of August, pay heed, pay attention. Now, interestingly enough, the High Priestess and the Justice card are linked. Why? Even though it's a master number, I know what you're going to say. The Justice card is 11, right? If you simplify that, 1 and 1 gives you 2. So these two cards kind of hint at each other, which is what makes me wonder what's going to be revealed over the course of the summer of 2021. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. And like I said, some life paths have had double up numbers or double up cards come up. You know, like you've got the Empress twice here, but no life path number has had the same one in the same place. So life path ones, it's all you. All right, so for September we have the Sun card. Look at that. Ultimate blessings. This is going to be fantastic. Whatever happens in August, whatever comes up, whatever you intuit, whatever it is that is taking place for you, September is a month of true blessings, true power, true enjoyment. Remember, one thing with the Sun card and the Wheel of Fortune, a lot of people kind of see it as like, well, money's just going to start raining from the sky. Sometimes it's just that you get a free pass and you end up feeling good, that you have a nice experience, that you feel safe, that you feel protected, that you feel energized and powerful, right? The Sun card is about optimism, joy, hope. It adds and enhances all of the blessings that you already have, and it diminishes any of the challenges that you might have, which is, you know, is beautiful. So let's give, wow. So if you have ever thought about buying a home, if you've ever thought about truly settling down, the month that you are looking for over the course of 2021 is going to be September. That's where the strongest, most powerful energy is for you. For a lot of you, I have to say, the place that you are settling in, the place that you're buying your home in, is very likely to be a foreign country to the one that you were born in. It looks like, and 2021 actually looks like a year where we're going to see a lot of migration, and some of it's going to be on a mass scale. I really feel that. I don't know why, but it's come up for all of the signs, all of the life path numbers have had a very similar message about about the energy being very, very different, and for a lot of people it not being the energy the energy or the surroundings that they're used to. September looks like a power month again for you. Your power months for money and for finances and boosts to those things are going to be February, April, June, definitely a possibility, and September. But September, out of all of them, this is where your money, your materials, your finances take a massive upswing. And when it comes to the Ten of Pentacles, it also represents financial and material security, but it also talks about a physical dwelling or your home, your actual home. So September looks like a time where you are buying a home, when you are acquiring a home, where you are settling in a home. This is gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. So October, you have the Star card, right? So this is lovely because this is about you really thinking long term, right? This is whatever you are settling into here in September or wherever. It creates a sense of community around you. Your Star card is a glimpse into the future, and it also has very long predictions, right? So just like this July stuff, whatever you're aligning with here, it's a correct move for you. As you can see, it just continues, and then in October, this is where you start to build the family. This is where you start to build the unit. This is where you are starting to get an idea of what your future actually looks like, what it's going to be for you. Then you got the Four of Swords with that, right? So taking rest, recuperation. October looks like a month where you're spending time with your family, with your friends. You are just living that really beautiful, chilled existence, where you are resting, you're having time off. Maybe even October looks like a month where you could be having a social media cleanse. Maybe October is a month where you are not traveling, not working. You're kind of like, no, I'm not doing anything. I just want to enjoy whatever it is that's come into my life or whatever it is that I've created. But this looks like powerful months for us. For November, we have the Lovers card, all right? So choices, our decisions, but also, again, relationships. And I have to say this as well, if you are a life path 1, it may be that there are more than one relationship that comes up for you over the course of the year, right? Something about relationships is going to be unconventional, is going to be shocking, is going to be a little bit out there, it's maybe going to be a little bit alternative or different. Not necessarily a bad thing. November looks like a great time, especially for those of you that are partnered. If your relationship survives the beginning of the year here, November looks like a really beautiful month for you because it looks like you and your partner have finally come to that space where you're like, you know what? Been a rocky year. Didn't know if we were going to make it, but we've managed to pull through. We've managed to come through it all. And it falls with the Emperor, right? So the Emperor is another card of commitment, which kind of suggests to me, and look at this, right? You've got 2 4s here. So in total, you have the Emperor and the Emperor twice, and then you've got the 4 of Swords here. And I want to talk about that in a minute, but it looks like you're making a decision to commit to something. It does look like you're making a decision to move in a specific direction. And I actually feel like this is, because your Emperor card is about you becoming authority, maybe choosing a certain path, or just choosing a certain path or choosing a certain experience. Remember as well, I said November was another sort of world stage moment, and I actually feel like those are July for sure, November. Now, your Emperor card is about the institutions, it's the law, it's the legalities, it is it's come on brain, police officers, military, all of that sort of stuff. I actually feel like we could be seeing some sort of imposition taking place in November on the wider world stage. Maybe this has got something to do with, maybe it's something to do with teaching, something to do with schools. Maybe the education system becomes a global education system. Maybe the qualification system becomes universal. And I do feel as well that in terms of the global stuff, I actually feel like next year is probably going to be the start of where we start to see borders dissolve, where we start to see sort of lines and barriers coming down. Not necessarily all at once, but it does look like those changes are going to be initiated over the course of this year. And then finally, December. The Fool card, new things, new places, new people. This is actually the opposite sort of end of the spectrum to the Tower card, right? So what starts kind of shocking, tumultuous and in your face at the beginning of the year has, unforeseen blessings that kind of culminate here at the end of the year. It is going to be a fantastic year, I think, for Life Path Ones. It really does. The Fool card is just, it's new energy, new things coming in, and it comes with the King of Pentacles. I have to say, if you are a Life Path One, your finances are going to be blessed this year. Money, materials, finances are going to be absolutely... the other thing is as well, currency change. Something's happening with the world's money in November and December. I'll be really intrigued to see what that is, because that was another message that keeps coming through. The Fool card, the Emperor, and the King of Pentacles. Remember, your King of Pentacles isn't just an earth sign male. This is also banks, money, finances, materials. It's, the good stuff, or the green stuff, as people say. And December is introducing somebody into your life who is very likely to be an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo. This is definitely a person that you do not know yet, that you won't have met throughout this year. And I can say that because it falls with the Fool card. Whenever you see a court card fall on the Fool, this is somebody that you don't know yet. It's somebody that is coming in, somebody that you aren't aware of yet in your lifescape. And that's really, really exciting. But this whole year has a maybe it's something to do with the banking system as well. Because the Lovers card is Gemini ruled. The Emperor is the smaller institutions. The King of Pentacles, banks, financials, institutions, etc. And then the Fool card. There's going to be a change going on with the world's money by the time we get to the end of the year. So that's really nice. On a personal level, what a bloody year. Like, wow. If you're a Life Path One, this is going to be amazing. For your key to the year, what does 2021 want you to know? The Temperance card, all things in balance, keep your alignment. Whatever it is that you truly want to welcome into your life, make space for that. Whatever it is that you truly want your life to look like, make space for that. This is time for you to be really conscious about what you create. It's a time for you to be really conscious with what and who you surround yourself by. It's a time for you to really pave the way to create the energy and the space for the things that you want. Anything that is out of alignment, remove it. Find a way to get rid of it, or find a way to phase it out. And that goes for aspects of self, personal patterns of behavior, all of that sort of stuff. This is a beautiful, very powerful year. I'm really, really excited to see what it brings. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic year. It looks like you will. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.